Hey guys, this is Alex here, and in today's video, we are going to be going over 8 areas where you can potentially cut expenses, as it is starting to look almost certain that we are headed into some sort of recession. So I want to take some time to talk about some ways to save money during what might be a tough time for many of you. And if you're not being hit hard right now and are in a very strong financial position, and are past the point of having to worry about little things in life, then good for you, but I have to assume that most of you are still on the way up and need to be strategic with your budget. Before I get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and comment any video ideas you have in the comment section. So let's get into it. All right, so number 1 is eating out, and this is probably my biggest struggle and where I fail most in my budget and always have. If you're anything like me, you're just not a big fan of cooking and frankly are pretty bad and inexperienced when it comes to the subject. So you choose to go out for a good majority of your meals. And this tends to be more of a young person thing, college students, 20-somethings, maybe because learning how to cook takes time and tends to come with life experience. But this is one of those things that if you don't keep a close eye on can be very detrimental to your finances. We don't think about the 10, 15, 20 bucks we're spending at the restaurant every other day. But when you think about it, if you're spending that 20 bucks per day just on takeout, that's $600 per month just on food, and that doesn't include any groceries that you may be buying as well, which really starts to make you cringe when you think about how broke you are at the end of each month. So give this some thought and maybe learn a new dish or two that you really enjoy so that you don't feel inclined to go out so often. All right, so number 2 is subscriptions, and subscriptions are another wallet burner that can really eat up a lot of cash over time if you don't really notice them on your bank statement. Certain things we actually do use on a regular basis, and if you're paying 10 bucks per month for something that you actually do use every single day, I'd say that's a fair investment. But what about the other things that you're paying 20 bucks a month for that you may only use once or twice a month? You know, music subscriptions, magazines, clothing subscriptions, HBO, things like that. And I also just want to mention, if you have Netflix and Hulu, now may be a good time to figure out which one you actually do need. Number 3, which is shopping. So for those of you that have the shopping habit and the shopping bug, I really do feel for you. I've personally always hated shopping, but I understand there's a lot of ladies out there and some gentlemen as well that really enjoy their shopping time, and they almost treat it like their sacred hour. And not only do fashionistas love to spend their hard-earned money on things to wear, but they make certain stores almost part of their stopping grounds, and it's really hard for these individuals to put this habit on halt. And this goes for more than just clothes and shoes, as many people have poor and expensive shopping habits for many different items. But even if you're not a shopaholic, I'm sure there are some things you can cut back on when you do make it out to the store. We all have the tendencies to put a few extra items in the shopping cart that we don't actually need, but we decide to make the impulse decision because, well, it made us feel good in the moment and we had some money in the bank. And these are the types of purchases that we can all look to cut back on and save some extra money. Number 4, expensive drinks. So if you're the type of person that enjoys going out for cocktails and beers with friends, and you just kind of need the stimulation and the social setting that a restaurant or a bar offers, then you know all about just how expensive these drinks can be and just how much buying expensive beers and cocktails at these restaurants can really burn through your wallet. So it might be time to think about ways that you can cut back on this expense a little bit. Maybe go out one day less a week. Make some drinks at home, make a couple drinks at home before you go out to the bar so that you don't have to buy 3-4 beers, you only have to buy 1 beer. Think about what things like that you can do to cut back these expenses. Number 5, car expenses. So are you driving a brand new car? If so, it definitely might be time to dump it. You should really never be driving a brand new car until you have 7 figures in your bank account anyways and can write a check without missing a beat. A car is just about the worst investment you can make, and buying a brand new car is like giving away thousands of dollars to the dealership. The minute you drive your brand new car off the lot, it instantly loses at least 20% of its value. If the car you're driving is on the expensive side and you're looking to make some room in your budget or cut costs, this should be your first priority. There's really no reason to have an expensive car. I know some of us are car fanatics, and that's perfectly fine, but the minute you have your money tied up in a car that is strapping you or stretching you financially in any way, then it's time to get rid of it. Now, you probably need a car, so I'm not suggesting to sell your car and go carless, but if you're paying more than a couple $100s per month, then it's time to really think about what you actually need. There's nothing wrong with having a cheap and basic 10-year-old practical set of wheels that gets you from point A to point B. Another thing to think about is when you put gas in your car. And this is one of those things that we don't really think about that much, But in all of our local areas, there are always gas stations that have extremely expensive gas, and then there's stations that have relatively cheap gas. And I'm not sure exactly what it is that drives up the prices of some locations more than others. Obviously, the location has a lot to do with it, but stop filling up your tank at places that are right off the highway. We all know that these stations that are heavily trafficked are always jacking up their prices because there's a lot of people in the area. So if you haven't already, figure out where the hidden cheap gas stations in your zip code are and start filling up there. It really pains me when people don't think about this. Number 6, coffee. So this is one that will probably sting for a lot of people because nothing comes before coffee, right?
Nothing comes before coffee.
Your coffee fix could be your most expensive habit, and it's all because these companies have figured out how to make coffee taste absurdly delicious and put it in a cup that makes us feel warm, welcomed, and part of a family. Starbucks has of course led the way in making expensive coffee a trademark of American society. Now, I'm not a coffee drinker myself, other than the occasional white chocolate mocha, but I know that $5 you were spending on a Frappuccino each morning is not giving you any more energy than a 20-cent coffee you could make at home. It's all in the experience that these coffee shops are selling you, and it's been working for decades. I understand you want your coffee in the morning, and you really like those morning breakfast runs, but it's putting a big dent in your wallet, and all that money really adds up. And if you're a coffee addict like 80% of America, then start to think about just how bad you need your coffee and decide if you can cut back maybe half on your coffee outings. The sooner you acknowledge that it's an expensive habit meant for moderation and not a daily necessity, then the easier it will be for you to transition into good old-fashioned homemade coffee. Number 7, cable TV. If you are under the age of 30 and you have cable TV, first of all, that's crazy and I can't believe that. Cable is a dying concept as more and more shows and televised events are being streamed online for cheaper than ever now. Not only do we already have access to platforms like Netflix and Hulu that grant access to endless shows and movies, but more and more companies like ESPN, ABC, and YouTube are coming out with online services that will make cable TV even more relevant. And I don't even want to get into all of the free sports streams that are constantly available on platforms such as Reddit that I can shamefully say I have used more times than I am proud of. Cancel your cable, everything is online and way cheaper now. And commercials are way freaking shorter. And number 8, which is expensive gym memberships. So lastly, I do want to talk about that $70 gym membership that you have. I mean, come on, are those shiny dumbbells and those slick floors really worth paying an extra $50 a month for? It's one thing if you're paying extra for a gym out of convenience or perhaps for the ability to network with a specific type of crowd, but if you don't really have a good reason, then cancel that puppy and start getting your butt over to Planet Fitness, where they're going to charge you less than $25 per month. You really just can't justify paying an extra $600 per year unless you make mad bread and money ain't really an issue, in which case you're probably not watching this video. So that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this content, go ahead and hit the like button down below. It would really help me as I'm continuing to grow this channel. And of course, leave any comments, questions, or suggestions for new videos down in the comment section down below. And hit the subscribe button to join the community. Thank you so much and have a great day.